Hey guys, today I want to go over a finesse tactic that's really good when the fish are being kind of picky. It might be the heat of summer, they're down deep, and they're just being lame. Neko rigging. Neko rigging is basically a wacky soft plastic rig where there's a weight in one end of the soft plastic and it kind of will fall on an angle and sit upright on the bottom. When I first heard about Neko rigging, I was like, this is kind of a goofy little way to rig a soft plastic. I don't even know if it's going to work. And I started experimenting with different soft plastics other than Senkos for this, and I started catching fish. There's two main soft plastics that I like to Neko rig. One are worms. In the world of soft plastics, worms just flat out catch fish no matter how you fish them. Obviously you can Neko rig a Senko or whatever, but I want to go over a couple of the worms that I like to Neko rig that are not Senkos. Basically, any worm with a modified tail is going to be deadly when you Neko rig. The first one is a Zoomspeed worm. There's all kinds of colors that you can use for this. I like the green pumpkin and I also like the blue. The next worm that I like to do this with is a Yum Swimmin' Dinger. And I like the green pumpkin, black and blue. I feel like they'll eat one of those colors on a given day.
By the way, shouts out to Yum. Their soft plastics are like $2 and change a bag.
The next worm that I like to run this rig on is a Zoom curly tail worm. The two colors that I really like in this are the watermelon seed and the other one is a plum apple. You can literally throw this rig on any worm, anything with a modified tail as well, and you'll catch fish. As far as crayfish that I like to throw this rig on, anything that has nice round claws on it or claws that have good action. The Rain's ring craw is kind of cool. The claws are like round and they float upright, so when that bait is sitting on the bottom, it looks pretty lifelike.
I've also gotten bites recently on the Neko rig with this Berkeley Champ craw.
As far as rigging this bait up, the first thing you're going to need to do is put a nail weight in the head of the bait. I like to insert the nail weight just a tiny bit into the head of the bait or the part of the crawfish where I want to sink to the bottom. And then I like to put a little dab of super glue on it and push it in the rest of the way. That way I don't go through a bunch of nail weights. I've also tried to take the cheap way out and use roofing nails for this. The bait doesn't fall as quickly with the roofing nails. I would just stick with the nail weights from a tackle shop. So after your soft plastic is rigged with your nail weight, there's two ways that you can set it up on a hook. One is wacky rigged, where you're gonna need a wacky rig hook. Typically you're gonna run it with the two O-rings in the kind of the center of the bait, just typical wacky rig style, but I'm cheap and I don't always have the O-rings laying around. So I'll just insert the hook point out the other side. Works just fine, caught tons of fish like that without the O-rings. The second way that you can run a Neko rig that works really well too is actually Texas rigging it. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna insert the hook into the soft plastic like this, come out the other side, Texas rig it, and that soft plastic will actually sit perfectly vertical on the bottom. And it works really well. Typically when I throw this rig, I throw it on a spinning rod with 10-pound braid and a fluorocarbon leader tied on. Where you throw this rig, you can't really go wrong, especially if the fish are down deep, but specific areas that I like are edges of grass lines. Typically they'll hit it right on the fall. Main lake points down deep, 12, 15, even 20 feet sometimes. Laydowns, although it can be a little bit tricky getting it in and out of them, and deep rock piles or rock bluffs, those are just really good spots where you can hop this bait right along the bottom and trigger a lot of bites. So if the fish in your area are being whack, it's real hot, give this technique a try and you'll be surprised how many bites you get.